Now, it's a little trickier to place a placket into a slit. Here we have a skirt or a dress that's just got a slit cut in the back. And you're going to have to put a placket into this. And the question is, how on earth do I get around the bottom of this without puckering or buckling? It's a little tricky, but we're going to do it. We've cut our placket out on the bias, it's ready to insert, so let's pin it into place. Okay. I've now pinned the placket into the slit. All I've done is pin down one side, and when I reach the slit I mark it with a red pin. See here from the inside, here is our end of slit. And then I continue pinning over this way. Now when I stitch it, I want to be really careful that I don't end up running over this bit of fabric on the behind side. So let's see how we do that. First of all, this placket is inserted not with a 5/8" seam or even a seam that's going to match the other seams in your garment, your bodice or your skirt. Instead, you're going to start with a narrow, approximately 3/8" seam at the top. You can experiment a little bit with this. I've just found 3/8 tends to work really nicely, and it still gives me enough room to finish this raw edge. So let's put our needle down and reverse. All right, now here's the tricky part. We need to come to this point in the middle where I've marked with the bottom of the slit and not create a pucker. And to do that, we're going to gradually bring our stitches in to almost the very edge of the fabric. You'll be about a scant 1/8 inch away. Okay, let's go right to that red pin and stop. Let's take out our red pin, raise our presser foot, and now we're going to get this fabric out of the way by flipping it around to the back of the machine. Make sure that we're still on our placket nice and neat at that scant seam. Now we're going to work our way back up to a 3/8 seam by the end of the placket. Take it out. Now we have a placket within a slit that leaves only a slight 1/8 pucker, but it's really not a pucker. Let's go press it and see how it turns out. First of all, you can see I've gone ahead and finished the raw edge with a narrow zigzag. This is to prevent the placket from unraveling and working its way over to the stitching, especially because you're so close at this center point. Let's turn it right side out and press the placket away. The seam underneath is also being pressed away from the outside. This is the right side of our garment. Now, when this placket is completed, it's going to fold over this way. So let's also press this side and the seam beneath away from the rest of the garment. To finish, you're going to turn this under. Once again, you can finish this with a small zigzag seam. And we're going to fold this over in the back to cover that seam allowance. So we just press that here. And this one is going to go up like this. Let's press it nice and neat. Making sure we have no puckering. And there is our in the slit placket. You have a tiny 1/8 inch bit of a fold here, but that's all. You'd really never know that you've gotten this big placket into this small area. Okay, let's open this out again and see what's supposed to happen behind this overlap of the placket. If we flip it out this way, here's where we folded this over to cover this seam allowance. Now we're just going to fold this one under as well to make a neat finish inside the dress. And we'll press that in place. Now, if you've got a lining inside the skirt or the blouse, you can always whip stitch this to the lining to hold it in place on this side. And this one, you can whip stitch over top of your seam allowance beneath. The goal is just to have a nicely finished placket. It looks beautiful outside and prevents your seams from unraveling on the inside. And that's all there is to it.